I will never go hiking alone again after hearing this. Brace yourself for a tale that will make you think twice before venturing into the wilderness alone. He started his solo hike like any other day with a sense of adventure and excitement. Surrounded by nature, the fresh mountain air filled his lungs and the rustling leaves whispered secrets of the forest. Everything seemed perfect, nothing seemed out of the ordinary. The forest was calm, and the sunlight filtered through the trees, creating a serene atmosphere. But as the sky darkened, the trail back became unrecognizable. Shadows grew longer, and the familiar path seemed to twist and turn in ways he didn't remember. Panic set in. He realized he was lost, and the forest that once felt welcoming now seemed menacing. Lost, with only a dying flashlight to guide him, he stumbled upon an old, decrepit cabin. It looked abandoned, but it was his only hope for shelter. Desperation forced him inside. The door creaked open, revealing a dusty, dimly lit interior. A perfect bed awaited, almost too inviting. It seemed out of place in the otherwise neglected cabin. Exhausted, he lay down. His body ached from the day's hike, and he couldn't resist the comfort of the bed. Around him, eerie portraits of strange, smiling faces stared. Their eyes seemed to follow his every move. Sleep took over despite the chills up his spine. He drifted into an uneasy slumber, haunted by the faces in the portraits. Morning came. The first light of dawn pierced through the cabin's windows. He opened his eyes. The room felt different, and he quickly realized why. The portraits were gone, replaced by windows. Windows that he was certain weren't there the night before. Windows with a view of the forest. The dense trees outside seemed to press in closer. And all those smiling faces, they were no longer in the portraits. They were outside, staring in, the same eerie, smiling faces, now peering through the windows. In a panic, he scrambled out of bed, his heart pounding in his chest. He had to get out of there. He rushed to the door, but it wouldn't budge. It was as if the cabin itself was holding him captive. Frantically, he looked around for another way out. The windows were now sealed shut, and the walls seemed to close in on him. In his desperation, he noticed a hidden trapdoor in the corner of the room. With trembling hands, he opened it. A dark, narrow staircase led down into the unknown. With no other choice, he descended into the darkness. The basement was damp and cold, with an eerie silence that made his skin crawl. He could barely see, but he pressed on. In the corner, he found an old, dusty journal. He opened it, hoping for some clue to his escape. The pages were filled with disturbing drawings and cryptic messages. It was clear that whoever had lived here before had gone mad. Suddenly, he heard strange noises coming from above, footsteps, whispers, and the creaking of the floorboards. He hid in a dark corner, his heart racing. The noises grew louder, and he knew he wasn't alone. A shadowy figure appeared at the top of the stairs, slowly descending. He held his breath, praying it wouldn't find him. In his desperation, he found a hidden passage behind a loose brick. He crawled through the narrow tunnel, hoping it would lead to safety. Finally, he emerged from the tunnel into the forest. The fresh air filled his lungs, and he felt a wave of relief. He didn't stop running until he was far away from the cabin. The forest that once felt menacing now felt like a sanctuary. He eventually found a familiar trail and followed it back to safety. He vowed never to hike alone again. Some trails are best left unexplored. The forest holds secrets that are better left undisturbed. Like and follow for more spine-chilling stories. And remember, and